whenever a TERF is bothering me, I go into their DMs and I will send them the picture of my detached titty on the table from Top Surgery.
Hello, everyone. My name is Swamp.
We all grew up weirding out to how we used to be.
And it's been a while, but we are once again going back to Libs of TikTok. So, allow me to be the Virgil to your Dante as we descend into the 15th circle of TikTok hell. And before we get started, don't forget to go check out the merch store because it is Trucker Hat Month. That's right. You can get the ever-popular Have TikTok Get Fired, as well as 3 other hats. Since it's only a matter of time before I'm demonetized, please check out the merch if you can. It's a great way to help support the channel. All right, without further ado, let's go.
Okay, TikTok, I really need your help here on this one. I'm a teacher. I teach 5th and 6th grade, and this morning, I don't know, somehow the concept of pronouns came up.
Yes, somehow. I mean, who knows how? Totally normal organic conversation often results in talking to children about pronouns.
And one of my students said, well, Miss Odell, did you even ask me my pronouns? And I was like, whoa, I hadn't actually asked him his pronouns, and I had called him a him, and I said, I'm so sorry, I haven't actually asked you what your pronouns are, and what are they?
Don't feel bad. Normal people don't ask for people's pronouns. And even the people who say that they do, they don't. It's just a virtue signal nonsense that no one actually does that. But let's see if you get outsmarted by a 5th grader.
Banana said, banana and rock. And I was like, dude, no, don't mess around with. I was actually really upset because I thought he was making fun of it. And in fact, I'm still pretty sure he was making fun of it. And, but they all agreed, no, you can choose anything. Banana, rock, if you want banana and rock to be a pronoun, banana and rock's your pronoun. Is it? TikTok, tell me.
Well, obviously, yes. If you believe in the neo-pronoun gender nonsense, yes. His pronouns are banana and rock. You have to go with it. But there's really only 2 possibilities here. I mean, someone is trolling. Because if this is real, then obviously the kid is trolling her. Obviously making fun of her. But I'm also starting to think that maybe this person made this. She's trolling TikTok. So who knows? It's really hard to tell with how stupid the world is now.
Would you be able to answer this question on one of my tests for social psychology? Simple essay question after going through privilege, what privilege is, giving examples of privilege, explaining how there are different types of privilege like white privilege, male privilege, Christian privilege, able-bodied privilege, thin privilege, cisgender privilege, straight privilege, and others.
Female privilege, black privilege, Muslim privilege, stupid teacher privilege, illegal immigrant privilege, Prius driver privilege, Tesla driver privilege, electric vehicle driver privilege, privilege. And whatever privilege makes you believe that you can wear a band shirt without ever having listened to the band, privilege.
All right, so simple question I ask my students, essay question. Tell me one way that you have privilege. Tell me one type of privilege you have. Whoa, my makeup is all over the place today. All right.
Why do people on TikTok do that? Oh, look how spontaneous and quirky I am. No. I'm not buying. Go f*** yourself. God.
It still is. Anyway, I always am a mess. Tell me what kind of privilege you have. Explain how it's an example of privilege, and say how your life would be different if you didn't have that particular type of privilege. Would you be able to answer that question? Can you come up with a type of privilege you have? Are you able to say out loud and admit to yourself and to the world that you have that privilege? Because one thing I find is my students don't. Even when I have clearly explained what privilege is and how it doesn't mean your life has been easy. It doesn't mean you're a bad person if you have privilege.
Yeah, okay, this is an easy one. I'm an internet racist. I've got all the privilege I need.
Still, they just go, oh, no, I don't know. No, I don't have any privilege. The test question, a lot of students will leave it blank. It could be for a variety of reasons, not necessarily because they, don't understand or don't take the class seriously or anything. But I get weak ass answers, like, oh, well, I've got strong privilege. I've got smart privilege. I'm like, you could have said you had white privilege. You could have said you had male privilege. At the very least, because I'll have some students, they're like, look, I am a black transgender individual. I don't have a whole lot of privilege. I'm like, okay, now think about your life. Think about certain advantages that you have that you probably didn't notice that you have. And an example I often go with, I say, even if you've got disabilities, you don't have all the disabilities. There's some disability that you would be lacking, that you'd have privilege from not having that disability. Like for example, if you are sighted, you can see, you don't need accommodations for that. You've never had to think about, oh, is the textbook going to be available in Braille? Am I going to get it on time for the semester? That's just one of many examples I'll try to throw out. I'm like, just think, what sorts of privileges do you have? And they just don't want to do it. There's so much resistance.
Yeah, I wonder why. This sounds fantastic. Sign me up.
So I'm asking you, what sorts of privileges do you have? Can you own up to it? I'll start. I have white privilege for sure. I have cisgender, straight privilege. I have able-bodied privilege. Don't have thin privilege, but as someone who's just a mid-fat, not a larger, I know there are official terms, and I'm probably going to use the different terms, but the larger fat, and I think the larger categories, I'm not there, so I have privilege from being on the smaller end of fatness. I've got privilege. What are yours?
All right, fine. If I'm going to be honest, let's go through this. What are my privileges? What is my privilege? Having an above average beard. I mean, that's definitely a privilege. Being too handsome. That's one of the ones I have. Being a fantastic driver when everyone else around me sucks. So, yeah. Next TikTok.
Today is my first day subbing in an elementary school rather than a preschool, and in preschool, you're just like teacher your first name, but in elementary school, you're like Mr. or Mrs. last name. And so I've been trying to think and like decide what my teacher name is going to be, and I don't want to be Mrs. last name. Like I've never wanted to be Mrs. last name. So for a while, I thought like Ms. last name would be okay, but like, I don't know, I didn't love it. And then I was like, okay, how about Ms. H? Like Ms. H would be okay. But then last night I was thinking and I was like, Ms. H just gives like the vibes of like a woman, and that just doesn't. And so I was like, mix H, like that just.
You need to immediately be fired. Whatever license you have to teach needs to be revoked, and you need to be prevented from ever being around children ever again. And I would suggest that maybe you do something so that you yourself could no longer reproduce. But judging by what I'm looking at and what I'm hearing, you've probably done that already because you're one of those crazies who was upset about Roe v. Wade being overturned. So you went and had your tubes tied or, some other ridiculous thing. So no worries there. But fired, go home, never look at a child ever again. Thank you. This has been my TED Talk.
Like mix H just sounds that just. And so now I'm having a gender crisis. But I'm also not quite brave enough to introduce myself as Mix H yet. So, Ms. H it is for now. And apparently I need to update my pronouns. Okay, bye.
Gabriel, blow the trumpets.
I have this giant pride flag in my classroom. And I work at a school that's got a lot of homophobia. So every time somebody new comes into my classroom, they have this look of just utter confusion, and I live for it. It genuinely gives me life. So, thanks for that. Pledge allegiance to the pride flag.
It, genuinely, literally, it gives me life. God. Millennials, man. You probably even did a lot of adulting today. And what is wrong with your face?
So I made a video before about the pride flag in my classroom. There he is, big guy. But I also have a bunch of tiny, smaller pride flags in my room as well.
I'm genuinely saying this out of concern for your well-being. Something is wrong with your face, and you should seek medical attention as soon as possible.
Today, my kids were asking me about them, specifically about the ACE one. And when I was explaining what it meant, one of my students, I think, discovered their identity today. And that, to me, is the biggest argument in favor of having things like this in classrooms, because...
Well, if that's how you feel, it's definitely a double-edged sword, because that's also the best argument against doing things like this. So, that's a real problem.
For a lot of students, this is their only exposure to this kind of stuff, where they feel safe enough to explore and ask questions. So yeah, you if you think these shouldn't be here.
How much do you want to bet that she's also the kind of person that would freak out and start crying when the parents are like, yeah, we don't want you here anymore. Get out. And she's going to be like, why? Oh, I can't believe it. Have TikTok, get fired.
Okay, so I just had a great idea. I've been trying to figure out a way to introduce Pride Month to my students, my preschoolers, who are 4 and 5-year-olds. Most of them are 5 now.
Oh my God, it's Gorbachuka.
But, we've done everything else. We've done Native American Heritage Month, Latinx Heritage Month, Black History Month, AAPI Month, last month, Women's Month, March. So I'm like, we have to do Pride. I'm bisexual. I don't know if I'm able to, say that to the students. I don't know. I probably won't. Anyway, here's my idea. So I was talking to my co-teacher about this, so I can't take credit for it all. But I said, well, maybe we can just go around the room and have the kids tell us, who lives in their home. Because there's some people that have grandparents that live in the home. And then we can talk about, how some people have 2 dads. So I was going to find a couple different books to represent some families. And we have, these kinds of books in our library. So I think it's okay. Obviously it's okay. We have the books. But it blows my mind that I have to, is this okay? Are the parents going to get mad? Because this is live. I saw a thing, and I shared it on Facebook. It said, Pride is important because someone tonight is still thinking they're better off dead than being themselves. And that hit me because, shit, I was there. But since I got Rainbow Stitch, I'm going to say, oh my goodness, guys, I got this new Squishmallow, and it says it's part of the Disney Pride collection. Does anybody know what that means, to have pride? And we can have a conversation about it. Because obviously pride is not just, to be gay, but you can have pride in your work, your schoolwork, and everything you do. Pride is not just being gay, but it's a big part of it, So it's very important because it could save some of these kids' lives. And we do have a student with a trans mother, trans woman, and a non-binary parent. So their family matters. They need to be represented. So that's my idea. Happy Pride!
I don't even know what to say. I don't know.
Something really inspiring and also a little bit concerning I'm hearing a lot of teachers talk about is asking students their pronouns.
Hey, I'm concerned about that a lot too. But judging by your hair, Well, and the fact that this is on Libs of TikTok, I'm willing to bet we don't see eye to eye on why this is a problem.
This tells me that these teachers really care about their trans and non-binary students and want to make them feel comfortable in class. Unfortunately, asking about pronouns can make trans and non-binary students more uncomfortable.
Every damn time. That's what these people do. They come up with a rule that you have to follow. You have to ask people's pronouns. And then once they kind of get people starting to do it, they do this, where then they flip on it and act as if like, well, actually, no, this was your idea. You made these rules. I never followed them, but not, just get out of here. They always eat their own.
Because they're forced into a situation where they either need to lie or are forced to come out when they're not ready to. That's why this year I created these survey cards that ask students their pronouns, if they're comfortable with me using those pronouns in front of their peers, and definitely if they're comfortable with me using those pronouns with their parents and families. This strategy was inspired by a tweet by Ellie Ehrlich that circulated on social media.
Wait, you mean Eli Ehrlich? Isn't Eli Ehrlich the one that's sending out hormones and has a drug distribution, illegal drug distribution going on in the country in the fight with Matt Walsh? That Eli Ehrlich? Well, this idea must be great.
My cards also ask students the name they want to be called in class, as well as their most trusted adult in the building. As a bonus, these first few days of class, I can use them as cold call cards. Comment with your strategy for asking about pronouns and DM me if you want me to send you my template.
No more. No more. I can't take any more. Oh, man. That guy is everything that's wrong with the United States. Wow. Anyway, my name is Swamp. I hope you enjoyed the video. Man, circle 15. Oh, God. Anyway, like, share, subscribe, comments letting me know how you need to let the full clips play. Why do you talk so much? I don't, this is the first time I've ever used YouTube. It's a reaction channel. Come on. If you want to watch the original videos, you look them up. All right, guys. I'll see you next time.